What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and today we are covering the top 5 premium releases of 2020 for World of Warships. But before we get into that, I've got a little giveaway for you all. It's nothing huge, but just my way of giving thanks and something World of Warships has provided to me. I have 3 packages of official World of Warships face masks. Yes, it's COVID related, but it will protect you, and it's got the nice little World of Warships logo on it. I've got 3 of those to give away. Each one has 3 cloth masks that you can reuse. So if you want to enter into that contest, stay tuned at the end of the video and I'll let you know how. This is for the US only. However, if your name is chosen and you're not in the US, you will get a CCT code, a Community Contributor Super Container code, along with a code for some camouflage as well. That's going to be for everyone. So, in theory, if the first 7 individuals I draw are not US individuals, you all will get a container, 2 containers actually, and those that I do draw in the US, you'll get the mask and the containers as well. Once again, that'll be after the video. But on to the purpose of this video, and this is going through the top 5 premium ship releases for World of Warships of 2020. And this was a pretty big year for ship releases. We had a lot of them. In total, we had 47 common release premiums. And by common, I mean these were ones readily available for every single region. There were a couple ships that were available for other regions doing special things, but you couldn't get those in all regions. So those aren't going to be included. So 47 common release premiums, including 9 clones. Those are ships like the ARP Yamato, and then, of course, the Moskva and Kirov are included in those 47 common release premiums as well. Those were moved from the tech tree to the premium line. No steel ships will be on this top 5 list, though, nor will the clones. And the reason for that is steel ships are hidden behind a quote-unquote steel curtain, and it's harder for most individuals to get. So, unlike the ones in the Research Bureau, in order to get steel, you really got to get after it, and you got to play in those clan battles. So, not everyone can get those. But we're going to move on, and we're going to start with number 5. And this ship was released on April the 8th. And this might be the most controversial ship on this list, though I feel it's a good ship, and I feel it's worthy of making this list. But we're going to go with the Marceau for number 5, the Tier 10 French destroyer. And the reason I put this ship on the list in the top 5 and at number 5, being that I don't feel it deserved to be higher, the Marceau is a very unique destroyer in the fact that it is just blazing fast. A top speed of 55 knots with Sierra mics on you, you can outrun some torpedoes from other destroyers. I mean, that is insane right there. It's one of the fastest ships in the game, if not the fastest. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But it's not just your speed that makes this ship good. I mean, it's got fairly strong guns that can do significant damage to enemy destroyers, and also fairly good damage to enemy ships, especially your HE. Not only that, even though your torpedoes are a little on the short side at 9 kilometers, you have really good firing arcs on your torpedoes, and you have them on each side. So what does this give you? Well, it gives you the ability to cover the map very, very quickly, and this represents a great strike destroyer against enemy carriers and other capital ships. Of course, you have to wait and plan your move very precisely, because if you don't, you can find yourself getting into trouble very, very quickly, but you can also get out of trouble very, very quickly. I think this is a really fun ship. More of one of the skilled destroyers here at Tier 10 and in the game, but for the skilled player who is able to leverage the very good attributes of this ship, they'll do very good in this ship, and you can do very good in this ship. So, at number 5, we have the Tier 10 French destroyer Marceau. Now, moving on to the 4th best premium ship of 2020, we've got the Aegir. And this German cruiser was released on June 10th. So we're kind of moving forward a couple months. I just find this to be a very enjoyable heavy cruiser. It's one of those battle cruiser classes that we get. Germany finally got theirs. We know that the US has theirs with the Alaska. We also know that there are other countries that have them. Russia has one. Japan has theirs. Finally, Germany gets theirs at Tier 9, the Aegir. And it's just a lot of fun. It feels very much like a cross between a battleship and a cruiser. You got 61,000 hit points or so. You can take a beating. It's got great armor. Just like most German ships at that tier, it's got torpedoes, so you can brawl with it. And you can brawl with it. You can brawl with other battleships. You can survive fairly well. And while I'm here, I do want to mention, I didn't mention this earlier, you're probably noticing that I'm playing in co-op. This is one of the few and only times you will catch me playing in co-op, or at least using co-op footage in a video. And the reason for this is I need to knock off snowflakes, so this represented a very good opportunity to do that and get some decent footage of each of these ships that are in the top 5. So Aegir is just a really good cruiser in my opinion. Hits hard, got good armor, maneuverability, all the check boxes that you want to hit for a cruiser. In many ways it's like a Hindenburg at Tier 9. And then again, in many ways, it's not, because it's got different attributes. But I like the Aegir, and I think it is completely deserving of the number 4 spot. Moving on to number 3, we have the Smaland. Released on March the 11th, the Smaland is, I guess, the sister to the Holland, cousin, something similar, I don't know. But Smaland and Holland are very much similar. Smaland is just an absolutely fun premium ship, though. It is a great destroyer, and I enjoy it very, very much. It's got really fast-firing guns. You're definitely a gunboat in this thing, but you also have some very, very good torpedoes. Great range, high speed, 75-knot torpedoes. So you are a dual threat. Now, granted, your torpedoes don't hit quite as hard as most other nations' destroyers. Still very good, though, and the fact that they reload decently quick is nice as well. The other thing about the Smaland is it carries radar, so you are an extreme threat to other destroyers. And while its AA might not be as good as the Holland, you still have good AA, and you can't discount that. So you're not really going to be hassled by aircraft carriers quite as much as if you were in another destroyer. So Smaland at Tier 3, I really enjoy this destroyer, and I feel it's probably one of the better destroyers at Tier 10. And for that reason, you know, the whole carrier thing, because no one likes getting hassled by carriers in a destroyer. You don't have smoke, but you've got radar. You are an extreme threat against all ships in the Smaland, and it's just a lot of fun. Moving on to 2, we have a ship that was released in August 5th to be exact, and this ship has been somewhat controversial in the past, and it's been on everybody's radar for quite a while. Finally got released, and that's the Slava. And, you know, when I place these ships in the top 5, I look at 2 things. I look at how good the ship is, and I also look at the fun factor. And Slava, no doubt, is a really good battleship. It has great accuracy. The ship is a sniper, but I don't feel that it's original, really. It's not a lot of fun to play for a lot of players. It's really good, but the play style is just kind of dull. I mean, some players it might appeal to if you don't like brawling in your battleships. It's not quite the brawler that the Kremlin is, but it still just absolutely wrecks other ships. I mean, it's a gunslinger. It's like Stalingrad. I mean, your accuracy in this thing is really good, and your guns hit just oh so hard. But it's that uniqueness that keeps it out of the 1 spot, because I don't feel the Slava is just as fun as other ships. Again, because it's just kind of a bland ship. Yes, it's strong. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, it's accurate. No, it's not really unique. Doesn't offer anything different. And it's not much different than the Slava we knew about, what, over a year ago? Still, though, because it's so good, because it's so powerful, so accurate, it is deserving of the number 2 slot. But that brings us to number 1. The number 1 premium ship and the best premium release of 2020. Also released on the same day as the Slava. And that goes to the Pommern. And I know in the past I have said a lot about how much I love the Pommern and how good of a ship I feel it is, but I just gotta say it again. The Pommern is an absolute blast to play. It is a great battleship. This German battleship just has so much going for it. It's got the secondaries that make it a brawler. It's got the torpedoes that make it a brawler. It's got fairly accurate guns. It's got fairly strong guns. It's got decent hit pool. It's also got decent protection in its armor. It's just got the full Monty. It's an absolute blast to play. It might not be as powerful as some of the other ships. It might not be as strong. It might not be able to take as much of a beating. But with all of its offensive capabilities combined, I can't say there's another ship more fun released in 2020 than the Pommern. Especially when you put the Captain loot gens on there, and you unlock that specialty feature when you get those secondary hits, and your secondaries start popping off even faster. The ship is just an absolute fun ship. And that is why I feel that the Pommern is absolutely deserving of being the #1 premium release in 2020. That's my list, though, and this is what I feel. I mean, there were a lot of good ships on this list. Many, many good ships. And of course, you know, you got the clones again, like the Yamato. But aside from the clones, you also had ships like the Odin and the Mainz. And the Mainz was a really good ship, too. And I probably could have put the Mainz up here in the 5 slot instead of the Marceau. But if I had done that, we would have had what, 3 German ships up here. So I think overall the A-Gear kind of edged out the Mainz as much as I like the Mainz. So these lists are never easy to do, and there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And your region. If you do that, I really can't help you that much, because honestly, there's no way for me to contact you. So, but again, this was my list, and I want to know what you feel the top 5 ships were, or at least what the #1 premium release of 2020 was. What do you think it was? Now, on to that contest again, that giveaway. All you got to do to get in for that is comment on this video. Say anything. But when you do it, you have to leave your in-game name and your region. Once the winners are chosen, I will reach out. I will contact you on YouTube, and if you are in the US, you'll get your nice little package that has the face masks in it. If you aren't in the US, you will get that CCT container and the camouflage container that contains, oh, who knows. But I will say that in my most recent stream, someone did get an Otago in one of the containers, and we've given away other ships like the Alabama in them, so they do drop good ships every now and then. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all had a wonderful 2020. I know it's been trying for many of us, hence the reason Wargaming is giving out masks. Yes, COVID sucks, but you can protect yourself. Anyhow, once again, leave those comments in the video, and I'll catch you all later. Zoop out.